All right, Blaine, 5 statements men feel, but they may not say. Number 1, I need you more than I let on, and admitting it feels like handing you a weapon. Number 2, it feels safer to need nothing from anybody, and I'm not sure how to turn that off. Number 3, when you're disappointed in me, I don't fight, I shut down. Number 4, sometimes I pick a fight about something small because I don't know how to say I feel far away from you. Number 5, you're the only person I really talk to, and that scares me. That's what we're talking about on Change the Odds today. Hey, welcome to Change the Odds, the podcast for marriage and family. We're never meant to be a game of chance. Kevin Thompson, Blaine Neufeld.
Just Blaine, too.
Where have you been?
Oh, I have been traveling.
It has been me and this camera for weeks.
I'm sure
the people are tired of it.
They've loved it. We have been away on our family trip, and we have loved it. And Adrienne is still there.
To such an extent that some of us are still away.
My whole family is still there. So
what's it like? So you've been home how long by yourself?
About 10, almost 2 weeks by myself.
So how much of that has been really good, and how much of that has been not so good?
It's interesting because when someone's like, hey, do you want to go and do this? Golf, dinner, whatever. It's an automatic, yeah. I got no responsibility. So I'm doing a lot of things with a lot of different people, which is part of my job, but I also love doing it. And then the evening comes and bedtime comes and sadness comes.
Yes.
So being alone in your house when you have this family dynamic, it's weird. We hate it. Both Adrienne and I, she's obviously with the kids and I am home alone. So we do a long FaceTime with the whole family before bedtime, but then it's just, I really enjoy presence in the home.
Oh, yeah. It's funny how whenever they're all here, the idea of 1 hour in your house by yourself would be the greatest opportunity of all time.
Yes. Waking up, watching the British Open, for example, incredible, right? Have what I want, coffee, breakfast sandwich, it doesn't matter. I can do what I want. And then sadness and loneliness comes.
I think it's funny just because the British Open was on this weekend, although the fact that we're calling it the British Open is offensive to the British.
Really? The Open
they call it the Open.
Yeah.
But it's funny, I worked for 7 hours on Saturday because I woke up at 6:30 to watch the Open, and I as I'm watching, I'm going to have my laptop open, so I'm writing and typing and doing all this stuff, and the next thing I know, I've been working for 7 hours before I'm going to preach that night. But it was great. It was the greatest thing ever.
But you don't find writing work, do you? You enjoy it?
I enjoy it. Yeah, it's fun.
Doesn't tax you.
I know.
It just comes out.
It's good. It taxes the readers. It doesn't tax anybody else. Okay, Blaine, with Adrienne gone, the rare opportunity for her to be gone, and let's be honest, she's not going to watch this.
She won't.
Right?
She might, actually.
Really? I don't think so.
No.
Let's
find out.
Let's go. Let's not tell.
Let's not say.
Hey, listener, don't tell. Here's my assumption about Adrienne. Not offended at all.
Right.
Here's my assumption. She's never listened to one of these podcasts. She's never read a single book I've ever written. And half the speeches I give on Wednesday night, she probably doesn't listen to. Is that?
It's fairly accurate. But she's listening most of the time when she's here.
Most of the time. Every now and then she kind of blanks out. Yes. But she listens to the sermons on Sunday whenever she's here. I believe in that.
And many other podcasts, ironically.
Oh, to research for this one is what's going on.
Yes.
So without Adrienne here, just two guys.
Yes.
Here's what we're going to talk about. I don't know if you know this, but The Creation of Us is about to come out.
I do know this.
August 4th.
I do read your books.
So,
I am the other. I'm the one telling her.
Oh,
this is in Kevin's book.
This is what he actually says. I did the auto recording the other day, so you can listen to it.
Very good.
I'm not sure how good it was, but The Creation of Us is actually, as we're filming right now, it's actually the #1 book on Amazon in Christian marriage.
Let's go.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
You know what that means? I manipulated the algorithm. That's all that means. It's not impressive at all, but it just means I had the right number of 100 people order it at just the right time, so that Amazon thinks, oh, this is popular.
Well, use it. Play the game.
But what are the core aspects of this? And we're going to be talking about this a little bit over the next 52 episodes, is my guess. There's this chapter on the idea of the healing of us. So it's the concept now that marriage, when done right, has this ability to have a healing kind of impact on us and who we are. It is not my job to heal Jenny.
Right.
Matter of fact, I can't heal Jenny. However, if I love her well, it can create a climate where she can heal.
Right.
And vice versa.
Right.
As well.
Yeah.
So I think not only are you a man,
I am.
FYI.
I am.
You deal with so many men, and you're so good at interacting and pastoring so many men that I came up with these 5 kind of statements that I've seen, I've experienced. Some of these are in my own life. Others of them I really don't equate to, but I see these in the lives of other men.
Yep.
And I thought we could just talk about what these statements look like. And specifically, let's face it, 70% of our audience are women.
Right.
And yet I think they can really learn from this to begin to ask, is there anything I'm doing to make these statements true in my husband's life? Or are they already true? And how can I create a climate to draw out of him something that's different?
I would even add like this idea that how can I give him room to discover it for himself? And that it's fun when we start to hear that guys are listening to this podcast, maybe more than we think, because they're starting to listen with their spouse, because it's okay to talk about these things, and which is what you're kind of getting into. And some of them is this unwillingness to talk about it. But when the spouse knows that he's willing to do the work, then suddenly growth can happen for sure.
Yeah.
We've seen it in our own lives. I've seen it in a lot of couples
Yeah.
we've been talking to.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
So I'll repeat a statement.
Okay.
You do not have to go, oh, yeah, that's me. You don't have to fake it for the sake of the camera. That if that's not you, you can just quickly go, nope, not me.
Right.
But here's my guess. When statements aren't you, your mind is probably going to drift to, but I do know situations where this actually exists. So we're going to begin with statement number 1. I need you more than I let on. And admitting it feels like handing you a weapon. So there is this desire within men, this recognition within men of I do have a need of my wife, and yet the idea of letting the guard down and showing that and admitting that this concept is there makes me feel vulnerable, and that vulnerability, I'm afraid somebody's going to abuse that or use that. Here's the thing I know about Jenny. I think it's probably true of Adrienne as well. Jenny would never handle that like a weapon. She wouldn't even know how. Jenny would not know how to weaponize my weakness now to hurt me or to manipulate me in some way.
Right.
But I deal with so many couples who the wives specifically have had a wound, and this is just how they've learned how to cope and protect themselves, is to shame or manipulate the other person. But then I also have experienced a good number of couples where the wife is completely healthy, but the man comes out of a background where vulnerability is not tolerated. And as a child, he learned if he's vulnerable, that's going to be used against him in some way. So he just has written a script that I'm not going to let on, even though I can feel that I need.
You could analyze us because I would be very vulnerable. I'd be very open. I probably was too open at the start, where Adrienne wasn't, not using it as a weapon, but like not understanding how to receive that vulnerability because her whole family wouldn't be overly vulnerable. So I almost perceived it as using as a weapon when she was not. She was ignorant to the fact of like, I'm just not going to let him fully into what I'm thinking. And here I'm anxiously attached to her thinking, let me figure you out. But where I have seen it is where guys maybe make one attempt at it, and then it is used as a weapon against them, and there's just no chance that they're doing it again. That's the scary part for me. I know a bunch of guys and couples that I've talked to and pastored and walked with. They are very, very vulnerable with me. And I'm like, well, tell your wife that. Never. No, I can't. Because it turns or they don't even necessarily say it like that, but there's like, no, I can't because she doesn't get it, and every time I do, I'm the bad guy, and all that kind of thing. So
well, and notice there's a difference there. There's a difference between I was vulnerable and you did weaponize it. In that situation where that happens, a lot of work has to be done. That's not just something of, oh well, it happened, I should try it again. No. There has to be intention and forgiveness and a processing through to look at the ramifications of all that took place. And this kind of stuff, you can't be this risky when it's been proven to you that this is not a safe climate. But the good news within a situation like that is you can recreate the safety. The wife can recognize, and as oftentimes an outside counselor can assist them to see, all right, here's what went wrong there. Maybe you didn't intend to do it that way. Maybe you did because you were uncomfortable, expecting the vulnerability was now going to be expected of you. They can work through that, and they can learn, they can overcome that. There's this other side as well, Well, she just doesn't understand. That is often, men specifically, others as well, she just doesn't understand is often an excuse. And what they're actually saying is, I just don't have the courage to be vulnerable. She doesn't understand. Let's test her and see.
Right.
Let's give her the opportunity to prove that she doesn't understand. And then if we go down that road, then okay, we can verify what you're saying. But don't just assume that she doesn't understand. What if we took the time to actually be vulnerable in the moment? Take the risk. The phrase I use a lot of times is, I'll go first. Whenever it comes to something important, each individual spouse should use the phrase, on that important thing, I'll go first.
Right.
I'll be the first one to show vulnerability. I'll be the first one to admit a mistake. I'll be the first one to say, hey, can we try that again? Because if you can get that in that kind of reciprocated relationship of both of you going first, you can create that. So you think she doesn't understand? Let's test it.
Right.
Let's see.
When you say I need more than I let on, like what are the areas to get the guy thinking of these areas in what?
Yeah, I think more emotional connection, more support. I actually don't have it all together. I would like you to carry part of this load with me. We often think about the idea of, and rightly so, mental load, the idea of women carry so much more than men of the details, especially with the kids and the house and all that. But we oftentimes don't talk about the mental load that men carry, the weight of what this means. If I got to take care of all these things and all these demands at work and all these places, and to have somebody, think about Galatians 6:2, that we're to carry each other's burdens. Well, that's a church concept, but it's also a marriage concept. And so even if I can't necessarily help you solve the problem, I want to help carry the emotional weight of it to show that you are not alone in what's taking place. And so how is it that we have those types of meaningful conversations to where the spouse isn't just trying to solve it, but instead is validating it, recognizing it, open there for compassion and support. And that's what that looks like to me.
And a healthy version, I'm looking back now at our own life of, I'm working, Adrienne isn't, that's been well advertised, so she can't work. But as she's moving down here in the States, there's a desire to have purpose, desire to have, opportunity to do things. I didn't even know that it meant as much as it did when she said, like, this season, I am here to support you and your mission. So that relieved a lot of guilt in me of like, I'm the one going to work. I'm the one getting all these opportunities. And to know we are then a team that like I didn't know I needed more of her support. And she said those words and it meant the world to me. To now where we're full circle and we're like, all I want to do is get her opportunities and have purpose, and I'm her biggest fan, and it's only helped our marriage to feel this case of like, where can I help you more? And what do you need more from me? And this constant serving of many different areas of our marriage.
It's
really cool.
It really is the partnership and when it's so funny whenever we think about friends, partners, and lovers, partnership is the one that sounds the most cold, the most insignificant.
Right.
I want to be friends and lovers.
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
But partnership is to me where so much the gold is.
Totally.
Because to me, it's the hidden one that can be so great. Everybody knows lovers, if done right, is going to be great. Everybody wants close friendship. But whenever you get in this idea of we are making each other's dreams come true, that becomes a power play that I just agree that so many couples don't understand that. We got to move on, but let's talk about this real fast on this. I want to distinguish a difference between I need you as opposed to I need you to do something.
Right.
Men have no problem generally asking their wives to do something for them. They have no problem. So that's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
Here. I'm talking about a humble admission that I don't have it all together myself. Now I need you as a person. So, all right, let's move on to the second one. It's related in some ways, but statement number 2: many men feel, but they don't say. It feels safer to need nothing from anybody, and I'm not sure how to turn that off. So now notice what we're doing here. We're moving beyond just the marriage relationship and going into this idea that many men have bought into the lie of this need for self-sufficiency in every area. One of the things that we talk about in the creation of us is this idea of good dependence. And so the concept is we don't want to be enmeshed to where I'm becoming so dependent on my spouse that I lose my own sense of identity. I'm putting too much pressure upon them. The children are dependent upon their parents. We don't want to have that type of dependency on our spouse. We need to be our own individual people. But at the same time, we don't want to become isolated, to live completely parallel lives, because we're human beings. And this relationship is meant to now support us, and we're supposed to support each other. Well, many men live in this culture where that idea of good dependence, they equate with weakness. And this, notice how this ties in also with avoidant attachment. So avoidant attachment has written the story that I truly shouldn't be in need of anybody. I should be able to handle and take care of everything totally by myself.
Right.
Now, it's funny, the two of us, who you would lean secure with some anxious attachment, I would lean more anxious attachment, are now talking about we need a third guy in here to talk about this from an avoidant attachment standpoint.
Right.
But I see men all the time who are carrying this huge burden,
Big time.
and they don't recognize that it's okay to lean on other people.
Yeah. I mean, I see this heavily in a business owner's mentality where they feel like all the chips fall on them. I see that with a lot of guys that would hold a lot of pride in this fact that they're comparing each other to the next guy over, and they have to have it all together, or they think they have to have it all together, or they're pushing themselves into worlds that they can't afford or shouldn't even be in because they're trying to play this game. And it's so sad because it's a never-ending spiral for them. But then what the flip side of it is, the healthy side of this would be, is like when you do include others and you recognize your team is good at many of the things that you are not good at, and you utilize their gifts to make a better team versus a dictatorship, for example, suddenly you rise up and you start to do these things. I've watched many business guys free up their own mind, which only helped them pour into their family better than they were because of letting go and saying, I don't have it all together, or these expectations I have are unrealistic and therefore I can't even get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how to do that.
you don't.
I don't.
You don't know how to let go, or what?
I don't, I don't know how to, I think I know how to let go. I don't know how to, I just know how to do it myself. I got it. I'll take care of it. And this idea of actually going, no, why don't you take that?
Right.
And I'll do this
Because
thing over here.
you know the outcome.
No, I don't think so. I think somehow in my brain, this is where I do have some affinity with avoidant attachment.
Yeah.
I think somehow it's a little bit in my brain of, if I'm doing it and not leaning and depending upon other people, then I'm not going to be too needy for them. That's the anxious attachment there coming in. So if I can't handle it myself, or if I ask you to do something, then man, maybe I'm demanding too much or asking too much of them.
I've learned over time, like when I had ran the hockey team, I had to do it all. I felt, because I also didn't want to lose my role and my purpose of it. But then when I started to like let go, I almost over let go. I thought I was like over exaggerating the letting go, having everyone do everything for me.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it becomes so efficient and delegate to everyone that was good at what they did. Adrienne was like, do you go to work? Like it was so fun for me because I could discover, oh, they're very, very good. Not only are they good at that, they love doing it. If I didn't give them that opportunity, I would have restricted them from reaching their potential. And I was like, wow, by holding on, I'm restricting others from experiencing that joy, which was really neat. Even on the business side, never mind the spiritual side and the church side and like spiritual gifts and all these things I get excited about. But like holding on, you're actually restricting your spouse from serving the family to the highest potential for their enjoyment. You've talked a lot about that with like the money side of it is like, you know, you don't need the burden of the money side of the highs and the lows. You need to bring in your spouse to make sure that they're in it with you together. So you're actually allowing them to enjoy those highs and help out with the lows. And it's way better that way. Yeah. Right.
I know cognitively that.
Sure.
But seriously, as I lead a church, as I do other things,
that's interesting.
There's just something that holds me back from there's somewhere along the way. I just learned that needing other people just was not safe. And
Does it slow you down?
it hinders me
time.
in a million ways.
Yeah.
Because then I end up doing all this stuff I shouldn't be
Anyway.
doing,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And probably become frustrated that I'm doing it,
Sure.
and then yet don't have the courage to actually,
Sure.
reach out and ask for help
That's
in some way.
interesting.
Yeah, this has turned into a whole counseling.
I love
session.
it because I love it because it's like it's what I deal with a lot of people. I get to jump in holistically into a scenario that I'm totally unbiased. I'm totally unbiased to somebody walking into their workplace, and I'm helping and pastoring them, and I'm seeing them and saying, dude, you're so in the weeds. Why are you in these weeds? And you start to discover their root cause is like, well, they don't say this, but I want to stay busy, to feel important, to feel. And then these guys start to get out of the weeds, and their employees start to elevate because they have room to grow.
Yeah.
Someone literally was just talking to me yesterday. They're like, hey, how's that guy doing it? He's spending a lot of time doing this, golfing or whatever. And it's like, actually, his life is never better. He's getting out of the weeds to do the things that he's needing to do. His mind is clear. He needs to be elevated on the 20,000 foot level, 10,000, whatever. And it's like he's allowing his team to now be a team. And it's like, it's really cool. Anyway.
I would expect you used meters there, but you
meters.
use feet.
Meters. I would never use a meter.
Canadian?
No. Like what? You're 1.83 meters tall? That's stupid.
It's all right. A little behind the scenes as we transition to number 3. It is a Canadian trick sometimes when I ask for yardage, you or our other Canadian friends give it in meters.
That would be. I would never done that to you. That is gutless.
It's brilliant.
It's only 143 meters.
All right, number 3. This is what a husband would think to his wife. When you're disappointed in me, I don't fight. I shut down or I disappear. I can resonate with this one.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't feel Jenny disappointed in me, but I do feel like I disappoint her.
You feel disappointed in her.
It's not like she's communicating. It's not like she's looking at me. Just with this disappointment. Right?
But you've disappointed her.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in that moment, if that were to happen, I think the shame would kick in. And instead of now stepping forward, I think I would cower back.
Right. So a healthy scenario, you would be like, you would just ask the question, did I disappoint you? Or I feel like I disappointed you?
Yes, apologize.
What's a scenario?
A scenario. I don't know, Blaine. What are we doing? This is
no, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. Because the guy that comes home and just says, I'm sorry, and he keeps saying I'm sorry, does nothing.
No, that's
nothing. That's not what it is.
That's nothing.
It's like, I forgot to do this, and Jenny's sad. Like, why didn't Kevin?
Honey, I know you deserved more of me in that moment. I wasn't there for you.
Maybe you're like tied into work so much, or the scenario, and you can sense that they're disappointed, and
you needed help here, and I was distracted over there, and I was doing this. And I recognize now that you deserve more.
Yeah,
that's what I often think about that with Jenny, and because I think it's true.
Yeah,
is. I talk about happily this idea of blessed are those who mourn. None of us are fully the spouse that our spouse deserves.
Right.
There's going to be deficiencies.
Yes.
And so I think about that with Jenny sometimes. Man, she just deserves better in that area. But instead of owning whatever that is, I'll cower back. Now notice what happens there is as I cower back, she now feels a distance, but doesn't know what it is. So she's more likely to write the story she's done something.
Wow.
So my shame actually could end up shaming her or frustrating her, whereas coming forward and now owning it actually then gives her the opportunity to give compassion, forgiveness, honesty, and you know what? I did wish that this would happen.
I can resonate with that, and I can resonate with the idea of pulling back when maybe it's I don't know that I've disappointed her, but now I've maybe used that weapon of my disappointment to use the relationship where then she feels like she has to pursue me because I'm wanting her to pursue me.
You failed.
Yes.
I got it's an old Seinfeld joke. I got hand now. Remember that?
No.
Yes. So it's the idea, and it's funny how much we do this. So George is in a relationship. Kids, ask your grandparents.
Yeah.
George is in a relationship the girl screws up in some way, and George is so excited,
Right.
Because
I got
she's
her.
in the wrong. I got her. And so the whole idea is I got the upper hand,
Right.
So I've got hand,
Right.
But eventually, what happens is she breaks up with him,
Yeah.
and he's like, "But I had hand," and she goes, "Yeah, and you're gonna need it." So,
George,
is where Seinfeld
George
goes.
is not the person to follow for
No, that's
relationship.
exactly right. And yet we all do.
Yes.
To some extent.
True.
Yes.
True. Very true.
No, that's an interesting dynamic that we're kind of jumped the shark on this statement. But that's an interesting dynamic is we sometimes like it when our spouse has made a mistake because it gives us the upper hand.
Yeah.
And then if we're not careful, we can use that
Yeah.
for our own benefit. And that is a dangerous pathway
That is
to
a
go
dangerous pathway. I was curious too of like, is it healthy? Well, I'm just thinking now because I think if Adrienne, when we have like a tiff and she comes forward and says, I was wrong, I'm very much more likely to say, yeah, but I was wrong too, right? Versus, yeah, you were wrong. It's nice that you saw. It's nice that you
I've
see
known that the
now.
whole time.
But it opens me up for vulnerability too,
Yes.
of saying, yeah, I should have stepped in and helped out there more. But
Yes.
did you overreact? Probably. You should, be more confident in yourself. You're awesome. But yeah, that's interesting.
No, I think that's a very healthy way because it's never all or nothing.
Right.
We each are playing a role in whatever it is that's going on, and so to own that, I think, is a useful thing. We got to hurry up. We got two more.
Let's do it.
And so number 4, I think people resonate with this one. Sometimes I pick a fight about something small because I don't know how to say I feel far away from you. This is the classic love styles. There it is on the shelf. This is the protest.
Yeah.
Right? So what's going on underneath the table is I feel unseen, unheard, unvalued, unloved. But rather than saying that, I protest about something else.
Yes.
Because at least if we're fighting, you're engaged.
If she was here, this would be more so her. Like, I think I push her until the point of she blows up, but it is needing to make a fight so that she feels seen, right? A little bit. Yes. Whereas I would casually, quietly get mad over time and then finally piss her off in order to engage her.
Yes.
Right? To make her like, I'm mad.
Yes.
Like, but it's not really that. It's this. Right?
No, I think this could be a whole episode possibly.
Sure, for sure.
Because there's some personality types that if they're bored, they will pick a fight. So that they're almost addicted to this angst.
Yeah.
And if the relationship is just kind of dull in the moment, they'll actually pick a fight just out of boredom. That's the side that's going on.
Yeah.
But I think for all of us, there is this concept again. What's underneath the table? We feel unseen, unheard, unvalued, unloved. And so our choice, it feels like it's wrong. It's a sucker's choice, but our choice feels like in the moment.
Right.
I can either continue being ignored, or I can pick a fight. And this isn't a conscious decision, but this is what we do.
Right.
I'm going to pick a fight, and at least they're engaged.
Right.
And maybe in the midst of the tension, that'll get resolved, and then we're connected.
Yeah.
Whereas a much better way is to pause and go, hang on. If I'm about to, I literally just wrote a devotional for this, ironically, for Proverbs 31 women. Because I'm a women's writer. This is what I do. But the whole thing was kind of about what I talk about in the book of marital attention deficit, right? Whenever you feel unseen, whenever you feel like you're not being given the attention that every human being needs, the way we tend to respond to that is not, hey, honey, I feel disconnected from you. Hey, I could really use some time with you. We need to get together. Instead, what tends to happen is we protest and we get mad about something.
Yeah.
And then whatever the surface issue is, it's the dishes or how much you're on your phone or you didn't handle this right with the kids or the house is a mess. Whatever it is, we're mad, but it's marital attention deficit.
Right.
We don't feel seen.
Right.
And the only way we know to get seen is to raise a protest.
Yeah.
But then that protest can create a disconnection because then our spouse gets defensive.
Right.
And then they're going to start putting the focus on themselves of, no, here's what I did. And I still feel unseen. And so a better way to go about it is to pause and go, oh my goodness, I just feel unseen. That's why I'm so irritated by this. What would it look like if I now try to reconnect with Jenny and go, hey, can we go for a walk today? Can we find some time just to sit on the couch together? I feel disconnected.
Yes. This is the biggest one for us. Maybe both because she will, she will be annoyed at something that I can maybe call out earlier than I do sometimes, because I'm like deep down, I don't want her to suffer, but I'm like, I want her to get over that hump a little bit. But then when she reacts to things to me that are an overreaction to the moment, I'm able to now see them and say, what's really going on?
Yeah.
And then it annoys her, but it breaks it down. My old self would be like, oh my gosh, what have I done?
Yeah.
And I would be scrambling and scrambling and
right.
scrambling to make it right. And meanwhile, it's because some girlfriend said something to her and she's mad. It has nothing to do with me, right? But at least but the problem is she would take that pain out on me as her safety blanket, and then I'd be guessing all over again, right?
Yeah.
But now we're far more quicker. We don't do this all the time, but we're far more quicker to say, to your point, like, let's go for a walk. It's like, hey, let's talk. What's really going on? Let's sit on the couch and talk for a minute about life. And then we get to the source problem of, I'm just bored out of my mind. I'm sitting at home doing nothing. And it's like, okay, great. Now that we know the
Now we
thing,
know the issue.
I can see you, I hear you. Let's go and do something about it. And then suddenly we feel amazing and we're well connected and all the things, right? So, but the old self is a scary thought because it was a circle of chase and
And then how you each begin to kind of provoke each other and
Totally.
the danger that's there.
Totally.
The issue isn't the issue most of the time.
No.
Most of the time the issue is not the issue.
But when you know someone very well, you can poke a button real quick
no
to
question.
get back at them. And that's a scary spot.
Yes.
Very scary.
When your pain is creating pain in somebody else. That's the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish, the creation of us. So the creation of us is the healing of us. As God begins to heal my heart, it gives me so much more compassion for my spouse that I want to create a climate where their hearts can be healed.
Yes.
Well, whenever we don't have that type of relationship, then what tends to happen is I'm in so much pain that feels unseen, I don't know what to do with that. So I poke a button on you to make you hurt. Subconsciously thinking, well, maybe if you hurt, you'll recognize how bad I hurt. Not realizing the more you hurt, the less you can see my hurt.
Wow.
And so those are our two options whenever it comes to marriage, primarily.
Yeah.
Either healing can beget healing or hurt can beget hurt.
I love it.
Choice is yours.
I love it. I was just sitting with a couple that he did some mistakes and now she's suffering from those mistakes and hurt and distrust. But yet in the last 3 years, he's had this awakening and healing in his heart. So suddenly he feels like he's in a good spot and he's like, come on, why isn't everything back to normal? And I'm like, bro, like you have to give years of healing for her. And if you truly are healed enough and you're filled up by it, you will have patience, kindness, love, all these things to give her the space and help to get there as well. And don't forget, you deserve nothing. Just to be clear, like that's where our minds can invert us with like, well, no, as a guy, this happens far more as guys, I'm sure. I fixed the problem. I did it. Now let's get back to normal.
Get over it.
No, she's in shambles. The glass is all broken on the floor. We have to piece it together. Anyway,
I see it all the time where let's go gender stereotypes, men and women. A man is extremely unhealthy for years. His wife desperately wants him to be healthy. The consequences of that lack of health finally express itself in a dramatic way, painful way. That's actually the event that wakes him up.
Yeah.
He starts to get healthy. Now her prayers are finally being answered, but it's been caused by something that's almost insurmountable.
Yep.
Now she's in this painful place, and he doesn't understand her. He doesn't understand how pain. Why is she in so much pain?
Right.
And he's like, come on, let's go, let's move forward. This is what you've been praying for so long. Not recognizing, as long as he was unhealthy, he needs to give her that space to heal from what she's actually experienced.
What do you tell to her though? And that.
I try to remind her of, look, he's being unfair here, but notice there is some good here. You've prayed for this part for a long time, and that is actually an answer of your prayer. Now, let's not make any rash decisions. Let's walk this out a little bit to see, is this something, let's say if it's affair, do you want to stick with this or not? So let's not make the choice right now. You don't have to make the choice right now.
Right.
It's because what happens a lot of times is the cheated on person feels the pressure of, am I staying or not right now?
Okay.
Where I always say, no, don't make that choice right now.
Okay.
Let's just slowly walk to see if their repentance is true,
Yeah.
and to see how can you heal from this, because the last thing you want to do is jump too quickly and always regret it.
Yeah.
But if you walk for a while and then make the decision,
great
I
point.
can't, I am out, then at least you'll know you didn't rush it. And that will actually give you more security.
So, and people, I'm sure, would feel the weight of the world on them in these moments. Never mind, what do my friends think of me? I'm embarrassed, all these things. You have to hit the pause button and say, give myself a long stretch run to do my life with Jesus, their byproducts of it, and his actions should pay and show dividends over a longer period of time.
Time will tell.
And time will tell.
No,
I
time
like
will tell.
that.
Time will tell. All right, fifth one. We got to rush through this one, but I think it's real. These are statements that men often think but don't necessarily say. You're the only person I really talk to, meaning their spouse, and that scares me. This is the isolation of men. How much do you see this?
I see this a lot because a lot of these guys that have maybe a job or a career as a bit of an idol, they're fully invested in that. Maybe this comes with wealth or this inability to be vulnerable with anyone else. So typically a business leader can't just go and tell his employees, hey, I'm having a tough day. And it's like, well, no, that's not the place. So a lot of these people get isolated, and then they only have the only person to talk to is their spouse, right? So that scares me. So then I find I have been that person for a lot of guys where the growth really starts to happen when they become vulnerable. So like these guys that are sitting in isolation alone, it is crucial that you find some buddies, some guys, some groups, some things that can have a safe place of vulnerability for you. And we're not talking down of our spouse, but we're talking about our marriages, and we're trying to put the guy back into his marriage to only help, because the burden that a lot of these wives feel too is unbearable. Like they're dumping everything on them too. So the other side of it is interesting, where it's like, well, I feel like I'm a burden now to my spouse who's helping me out or whatever the thing is, but yet you need to, again, very careful, not talk down of your spouse, but at the same time talk to someone about what's going on.
This is a great example where this can actually be the byproduct of a pretty good marriage. The man has felt the freedom to be vulnerable with his wife. And it's a wonderful thing to have that possibility. But then they just unload everything there. And there's not these other relationships or these other friendships. And what needs to happen instead is hopefully that marriage can become the training ground to where, oh, you know what? If she trusts me and I can be vulnerable with her, there are probably other men out there that I can be vulnerable with as well. Because this goes back to friends, partners, and lovers, this idea of Jenny is supposed to be my best friend, but not my only friend.
Right.
She needs more. She needs me to have more people in my life than just her, so that we can have this very healthy relationship. I can depend on her, no question, more than anybody else. Have this good dependence, but I have these other outlets and resources as well. So she's not carrying the full weight of my life on her shoulders.
Right.
That there's something more than that.
Right. And there's a guy way of thinking about things. So I can't express my brain to my spouse in the way I would just verbally that I would to a guy, that he would get, oh, that's really not a big deal. But at the same time, she would be like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? So do you see this a lot in like newly married people, where this is like a moment where you have to decide? Like I could see guys getting married and then leaving behind their world to just, my spouse is everything to me. I'm going to just go in, and it's like, or she's that way and she takes him out of his friendships.
I don't see it so much in that nearly as much as I see it in certain personality types.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously there's going to be certain aspects of trauma or whatever, and even attachment of that kind of thing. And so I think it raises a very fair question to men that we can ask: who other than your wife knows what's really going on in your heart? Yeah. There needs to be at least one or two other people. That's good. Now you don't billboard it to everybody. It's not that, because it's a vulnerability that's more real. But if you're struggling, if you need help, if there are issues that are going on, not just, man, I got this problem at work, not that. Right. Although there can be aspects of that. But are there people in your life that you can reach out to? I got multiple text threads with different groups of people that man, when there are things going on in my life, I can be like, hey guys, here's where I'm at,
Yeah.
and what's going on, and we need that. Our spouse is supposed to be our best friend,
Yeah.
but not our only friend. And here's a statement of, man, I've learned to be vulnerable with you, but it scares me that I can't do that with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And the loneliness. This is something we've talked about a lot on the podcast of old, is the male loneliness epidemic that is taking place currently is massive, as the number of friendships that men are having are shrinking, our needs aren't diminishing,
Yeah.
and yet our outlets for that are changing. That's a very dangerous place to play, which is one of the benefits of the church,
Yes.
one of the benefits of men's ministry, one of the
Yes.
benefits of all the things that we do
Yes.
here, is we're trying to get men into relationships with other men,
Yeah.
to have these very healthy outlets in a way that wives begin to celebrate.
And we've seen that time and time again, where it's, what did you do to my husband? He's a new man. Like, he's confident, he's vulnerable, he's willing to grow, and it's like amazing to see the other side of it. And again, that's where I stress, because I'm constantly, a lot of guys think that I'm going to side with them and be like, yeah, it's in a tough spot with your spouse. I'm like, no, bro, you have to raise your bar here. Like, you're the leader. What are you doing? And so sometimes you need a guy in your corner inspiring you to go and do better things in your marriage. And suddenly it only serves your wife better. And then she serves you better. And all these, we've talked about this many times, but it's like, you need rah guys. You need a guy that hits you in the face once in a while. You need a guy that puts his arm around your shoulder, and it's crucial.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times.
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, these are 5 statements. I would love to hear if the listener, you can go on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. I'd love for you to comment to us if one of these really stood out to you, or if there's some statement that we're missing that guys are feeling, or wives are feeling like their guys are feeling that we just don't know about. I think it would be fascinating. Here's one thing that we want to do here. The more we can begin to learn to surface what's going on below the table, the more healing that can actually take place, and the more change that can happen. And Blaine, what would happen if we would learn to heal from the creation of us, available on Amazon, where all fine books are sold?
Yeah,
You
number
know what
one
that would do?
right now.
That would actually change the odds.
It would.
We'll see you next time.